Good morning. Today is my presentation of Masters of Technology Management with Cybersecurity. My presentation focuses on strategic modernization of a legacy IT infrastructure within a mid-sized UK retail and commercial bank through a phased hybrid cloud migration strategy. This project examines how technical debt, fragmented systems, and operational resilience pressures are affected banking organizations, and how cloud transformation can implemented in a controlled and strategical, sustainable way. The presentation is structured around the organizational problem, the research approach, key findings, strategic analysis, and final recommendations. The core issue examined in this project is the legacy IT infrastructure has evolved from being a technical limitation into a major operational and strategic risk. The bank examined in this case serves approximately 1.2 million retail and commercial customers and relies heavily on fragmented on-premises infrastructure developed through years of term upgraded and integrations. This creates several interconnected problems: duplicate data, weak visibility across systems, rising maintenance costs, operational inefficiencies, and increasing cyber and resilience risks. So, for example, payment-based systems, fraud monitoring tools, and customer databases often operate through tightly coupled integrations. If one system fails or is migrated incorrectly, multiple banking services may become unavailable simultaneously. So this is particularly important because regulators such as the FCA now expect banks to demonstrate operational resilience, dependency, visibility, and recovery capability. The project therefore investigates how the bank can modernize infrastructure while avoiding excessive disruption to critical customer services. Project background is about the aim of the project was to design and evaluate a phased hybrid cloud migration strategy capable of reducing technical debt while improving resilience and regulatory readiness within an 18-month period. The SMART objectives created measurable milestones across the transformation program. The first objective focused on identifying operational risks linked to legacy infrastructure such as cyber exposure, maintenance complexity, service disruption, and reporting limitations. The second objective involved mapping infrastructure dependencies using enterprise architecture principles. This was important because hidden dependencies are one of the primary cause of a migration failure within the banking environments. The third objective evaluated three strategic options: maintaining the current infrastructure, full cloud migration, and phased hybrid migration. The final objective focused on risk governance, migration sequencing, workforce readiness, and the resilience validation. Together, these objectives ensured the project remained practical, measurable, and strategically aligned. What methodology we used is about the project adopted a programmatic research philosophy because the objective was not simply theoretical understanding but practically organizational improvement. A qualitative case-based approach was selected due to the commercial sensitivity of banking infrastructure data. As a result, the project relied on secondary evidence including academic journals, FCA operational resilience guidance, ISO standards, the cloud migration studies, and industry reports. To improve source credibility, the CRAP model was applied to evaluate currency relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. This was particularly important because some industry reports strongly promote cloud adoption and may contain commercial bias. The methodology therefore combined academic theory, regulatory evidence, and practical implementation research to produce balanced strategic analysis. Frameworks we used are There were several frameworks we used because organizational problem extends beyond technology alone. Enterprise architecture was used to map relationships between applications, databases, infrastructure, and business services. This helped identify hidden operational dependencies before migration. Sequencing decisions were made. For example, fraud monitoring systems may rely on real-time transaction feeds from payment platforms. Migrating one system without understanding these dependencies could create operational disruption. The second one is ISO 31000 supported structured migration risk governance through risk scoring, mitigation planning, and continuous monitoring. Also, we used the dynamic capability theory. Dynamic capability theory explained why organizational adaptability is strategically important within rapidly changing digital environment. The bank's current infrastructure limits its ability to respond quickly to fintech competition, cyber threats, and customer expectations. Although these frameworks provide valuable structure, they can become bureaucratic if applied rigidly. Therefore, the project translated theory into practical artifacts, including migration roadmaps, risk registers, and strategic option appraisal. Our migration roadmap is about 12 to 18 months developed during the project. A phased approach was selected because banking systems supported critical customer services where implementation failure could have severe operational and reputational consequences. The roadmap divides migration into discovery and assessment, architecture planning, pilot migration, control, core migration, validation, and optimization. One important feature of the roadmap is the use of formal decision gates. At each phase, executives can approve, pause, or adjust migration activity before higher risk workloads are migrated. This significantly improves governance control and reduces the likelihood of large-scale operational disruption. For example, a pilot migration allows lower risk systems to be tested before core banking services are affected. This stage structure reflects best practice observed in successful banking transformation programs such as Lloyds Bank Group, as we see in our example. What are the key findings and analysis? The analysis revealed that the organization's challenges are highly interconnected. Technical debt was identified as one of the most significant issues because large amounts of IT effort are currently focused on maintaining aging systems rather than supporting innovation. This reduces organizational agility and slows digital transformation capability. So the project also found that fragmented infrastructure weakens operational resilience. For example, duplicated databases, disconnected reporting systems, and incompatible applications reduce visibility across important business services and complicate incident recovery. From a regulatory perspective, this becomes particularly important because FCA operational resilience requirements expect bank to demonstrate clear dependency mapping and service recovery capability. Another important finding was that migration itself creates significant risk. A rapid full migration approach could expose payment systems and customer services to operational failure if dependencies are misunderstood. The research also identified workforce capability as a critical issue. Cloud transformation requires technical retraining, operational adaptation, and cultural change. Without workforce readiness, resistance to change may slow implementation and increase operational risk. This slide presents the ISO 31000 based migration risk assessment. The highest pre-migration risk were workforce resistance, data migration failure, and operational disruption. These risks are particularly significant within banking environment because even short outages can affect millions of customers' transactions and damage public trust. The analysis demonstrates how mitigation strategies significantly reduce residual exposure. For example, test migrations, rollback planning, service testing, staff training, and compliance reviews reduced several critical risks from high or critical categories to medium level exposure. This shows that risk cannot be eliminated completely, but it can be managed through structured governance and phased implementation. So we have optional appraisal. Three-stage options were evaluated during the project. Option 1 was maintain current state. This option creates a lowest short-term disruption but fails to address technical debt, resilience weaknesses, and innovation limitations. From a strategic perspective, the option is not sustainable. Option 2 is the full cloud migration. Although this approach could accelerate scalability and automation, it creates a substantial implementation risk within a regulated banking environment. We see the TSB migration incident demonstrated how inadequate migration sequencing can severely disrupt customer services and damage organizational reputation. Option 3 was the phased hybrid migration. This emerged as the strongest option because it balances innovation, operational stability, governance, and resilience control. Low risk workloads can migrate first, while critical services remain protected until validation is completed. This option also supports organizational learning and workforce capability development throughout the transformation process. For the recommendation, there were 5 recommendations which were evidence-based, developed directly from the analysis. First was adopt a phased hybrid roadmap with formal governance checkpoints. Second was the use enterprise architecture to prioritize workloads based on dependencies, visibility, and resilience importance and business criticality. Third one was the maintain a live ISO 31000 aligned risk register with the continuous monitoring and mitigation ownership. Fourth is invest heavily in workforce capability development through cloud certification, role-based training, and stakeholder engagement. This recommendation directly addresses workforce resistance identified during the risk analysis. Number 5th was implement vendor governance control, including open APIs, profitability assessments, cloud cost monitoring, and contractual exit clauses. This reduces long-term vendor lock-in risk. Together, these recommendations support resilience, regulatory readiness, customers' continuity, and sustainable digital transformation. In my conclusion, the project demonstrates that legacy infrastructure and modernization within banking environment is not simply a technical replacement exercise. It is a strategic transformation program involving governance, resilience, workforce adaptation, and operational control. The evidence suggests that maintaining legacy infrastructure is no longer sustainable because technical debt continues to reduce agility and increase operational risk. However, full immediate cloud migration creates excessive disruption risk within highly interconnected banking environments. Therefore, the phased hybrid cloud strategy provides the most balanced and defensible route to modernization because it combines controlled transformation, operational resilience, regulatory accountability, and long-term digital accountability. Ultimately, this project demonstrates that legacy infrastructure is no longer simply a technical limitation. It has become a strategic resilience challenge. Real-world banking failures such as the 2018 TSB migration incident showed that rapid and poorly controlled transformation can disrupt millions of customers' accounts, damage public trust, and create long-term reputational consequences. In contrast, organizations such as Lloyd Banking Group have demonstrated that a phased and carefully governed transformation can modernize banking services while maintaining operational stability and regulatory confidence. Therefore, a successful digital transformation is not about migrating fastest, but about balancing innovation with governance, resilience, and customer trust. This is all from my side. Thank you very much.